What's good, YouTube? Masex back with another video. Today we're looking at the top 5 corners. These are my positional rankings, and we're going to take a look at that. This is the first version, so we're going to dive into that. Of course, if you're new to this channel or if you haven't already, definitely like and subscribe to the video. We're getting closer and closer to that 1K subscriber list. The more support, the more this video can reach others, and we can continue to grow and build this community. But as I mentioned, we're going to look at my top 5 corners at this point, and I feel I've watched a decent amount of snaps to go ahead and create my first version of that for this year. Cornerback actually is where it all started for me way back in middle school, so that's why we're starting the positions off with corners, and then we're just going to move from there. Stay tuned, we got something in store for you now, but I'm ready to hop right into the cornerbacks, starting with number 5, working our way to my number 1 corner for this year's draft. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and start things off. Like I said, number 5, we're going to work our way to the best corner in this class according to my rankings. And at number 5, we got Domani Jackson out of Alabama. Originally with USC, his true junior year decided to come over from USC and play for Bama. First thing that jumps off when you watch the tape of Domani Jackson, this guy is scrappy. He plays with an edge. He's like a linebacker personality lined up on the outside guarding receivers. And I really like that. Has the pedigree, the all-famous modern-day 5-star recruit. So he has that background and pedigree. The physical traits, he's 6'1", he's listed at 200 pounds. And with that size, he also plays like it. Probably the most physical corner that I've watched. He's a plus add in the run game, which is really good. Willing tackler, willing to fight off of blocks and get in there and get some contact. I really like that. I'll admit he's definitely a project piece. When he goes to the NFL, he's going to need an organization that's going to have patience with him, willing to invest in his development. I don't think out the gate he's going to be an outside cornerback press corner. I think he's going to take maybe 2 seasons, 3rd season potentially, to really get that seasoning and experience under his belt. But man, if you're able to strike with this guy, Domani Jackson, you're really going to get a gem. You might get a steal of the draft because I feel like he has all the intangibles: athletic, speed, strong, agile, can mirror. Just right now, from a technique standpoint, there are some things that even from my level of expertise, it simply needs coaching. If we can tweak a few things here or there, I think we have a legitimate NFL starter in Domani Jackson. Moving up to number 4, my number 4 corner is none other than Shavon Revel Jr. out of East Carolina, listed at 6'3", 190 pounds, started his journey at Lewisburg College, worked his way up to East Carolina to play some Division I football. Honestly, if it wasn't for the ACL tear, you could say potentially he's a top 2 corner in this class. But honestly, for me, you're not too sure how a player is going to bounce back from catastrophic injuries. But his time on the field was nothing less than impressive. QB's at a QBR of 55.1 when targeting Revel Jr. That lanky build. He looks like Sauce Gardner. Now, I envision Revel Jr. more as an outside zone cornerback, like a Richard Sherman, Josh Norman. That's where he'll excel the best in a scheme like that. He's a rangy prospect. I'm sure his wingspan is off the charts. Has the tools to cover NFL X's at the next level. With that range, that allows him to stay in the play, particularly on deep routes, especially verticals. He plays those very well. He can match up with the taller receivers very well. And I think this dude has future all-pro corner written all over him, assuming that he's able to rehab from that ACL and be back to form. Now, 1 year of elite production, that could be a little bit of a hesitancy from GMs and whatnot. He is a 5th-year guy. He's an older prospect, but man, film doesn't lie, and this guy can flat out play some football. My number 3 corner is Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, listed at 6 foot even. About 190 pounds is what he's listed at. Former 4-star from Phoenix, Arizona. As a true freshman, that's when I actually first heard about this guy. I believe he had 6 interceptions out the gate as an 18-year-old. For a very prestigious school like Notre Dame is very impressive. Followed that up last season in 23 with 3 interceptions. QBs have a 59.6 QBR when targeting Morrison. Honestly, could be the most versatile corner in this draft. He can play outside press. He can play in the slot. He has great agility, elite short area quickness, hips very fluid. I like corners that are willing to get their nose in there and make tackles in the run game as well. Very young prospect at the time of this recording. He's still only 20 years old. Just very skilled. His craftsmanship is very impressive. I love his fluid. Even the back pedal is just like, you can tell this guy works on his craft. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Benjamin Morrison 2-3 years from now, we're saying he's the best corner of this class. That's how good I think this guy is. But I can't put him over the top 2 guys on this list. And speaking of the top 2 guys, my number 2 cornerback is none other than Will Johnson, 6'2", 202-pound cornerback from Michigan. Now, this guy's an elite corner, also has some injury concerns this year. And personally, maybe at this moment, I'm overreacting a little bit. You know, turf toe and whatnot is something that can linger, but I wouldn't necessarily list that as catastrophic. But to me, he is the quintessential in the lab on a video game creating a player. Will Johnson is that corner that you're going to create. QBR 43.6 when targeted. Very small sample size this year, but already had 2 interceptions, both returned to the house. Very instinctive pick sixes as well, both of them. For Michigan, which has been a very dominant program the last couple years or so, came out the gates as an 18-year-old, 3 interceptions, freshman All-American. First team All-American last year as a true sophomore. That exceptional frame lets me know he can play press, he can guard big receivers. Simply a mirror. Quick processor, looks versatile to play in multiple schemes, whether that's zone, off man, press man. That's what you want if you're a GM and you're looking for a corner. Will Johnson is that next guy up, in my opinion. I really don't have too many weaknesses that I can really find at this particular moment. I think he's that good. I think he can be a tier 1 cornerback at the next level relatively pretty soon in his NFL career. And my number 1 cornerback, the best corner in this draft to this moment in time, is none other than Travis Hunter, 6'1", 185-pound athlete out of Colorado. QBR 69.3 when targeted. And Travis Hunter at this moment, he's been nothing but exceptional. I did go back and forth between him and Will Johnson because personally, I think I do like Will Johnson, but I think I dinged him a little bit just because of the injury concerns. And Travis Hunter is the true definition of durability. I mean, he's played pretty much every snap on offense, comes back out, lines up, and plays every snap on defense. I think from a man-to-man perspective, not as elite as a Will Johnson, but just playmaking ability, exceptional hands, and has some really impressive interceptions just from an instinctual standpoint and just skill set of snagging the ball out of the air. Just acrobatic catches even on the defensive end. He has the range, he has the size, though a lot smaller than Will Johnson from a girth perspective. He still has length and size, and I think that he can also fit in multiple schemes as well on the NFL level, especially if he's primarily just focusing on the cornerback position, which he hasn't been able to do. I've never seen anything like this guy. And I can only imagine, just from a potential perspective, if he put 100% of his studying and craft into the cornerback position. And that's why I had, in the tiebreaker, I had to put Travis Hunter over Will Johnson. This guy is nothing short of amazing. All right, there you have it. This is my 1.0, I guess you want to call it, for my top 5 cornerbacks in this draft. Of course, I'm going to make another one in a couple months before the NFL draft in late April. There's going to be a second, maybe third version of this. I'm just getting my feet wet with a lot of the cornerbacks from this draft class, or at least those projected to come out this year. But if you made it this far in the video, I deeply appreciate it. And if you haven't already, definitely don't forget, before you click off of this video, man, like and subscribe. Support your boy. We almost at 1K, man. It's only growing from here. Also, be on the lookout. The next position's coming. I'm not going to tell you guys just yet. You just got to stay tuned. But other than that, man, actually, I need to get back to work because I'm on the clock right now. But I love you guys so much. I said, let me go ahead and do this video now while I got a nice little amount of time to get this done. So I got to get back to work. I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care. See y'all then. Cheat.